Test 1, 2. We're here at Paul Smith College. We're with Lowell Bailey. Oh, okay. Just stand up and talk.
Yep.
Hello, everybody. We're at Paul Smith College with John Morgan, Lowell Bailey, Matt Doherty, Tim Burke. We are testing the audio.
Plenty. Sounds good.
Look good? Awesome. Sound good?
Yep. Actually, stay there one more second, if you don't
Sure.
mind. Let me check if I bring this up.
Two John Morgans trailed. John Morton. John Morgan. Max Cobb.
Stay right there for a second. See if I can't fly off that side.
Hello, everybody. We're at Paul Smith College.
If I do that, I'll lose it.
The audio.
All right. Cool. Kill him, Mike.
Good.
take it out. No, just I think the best thing is that you're very, yeah, you're very impressed with the trail, with the landscape and whatnot.
Right, right.
First thing, yeah. So now if we do that, we definitely got to use your mic because we can put this little thing on. Or not? Yeah, we do. This is probably a better one. Yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, he's gonna do a walk-off shot.
Sibilance. Sibilance. Yeah, it's brutal.
Can you lift it off and go stand?
Sure.
Go stand by the mat.
Right here?
Yeah, I think it'll be on the other side, but
It's okay. We'll do the other side. This is a test. This is a test for audio.
okay.
Are we good? Okay.
Okay, come on in, everybody. Jim, get your three. Come on and sit down, guys. Test. How's that, Paul? Good? Test, test, test.
Sounds great.
Okay. Okay, welcome everybody to the this press conference where we're going to announce the relationship between Paul Smith College and US Biathlon. I'm John Morgan, Director of Sports Initiatives at Paul Smith College, and to put us into a biathlon frame of mind, let's take a look at a video. So that's put us in a positive frame of mind for biathlon. I want to introduce everybody at the table here. Matt Dowder is our Nordic sports coach here at Paul Smith College. Tim Burke, four-time Olympian who was born and raised and probably knows more about these trails, these 25 miles of trails out here than anybody. And again, he's the athlete development officer at US Biathlon. Max Cobb, executive director of US Biathlon. John Morton, long time involved in Nordic skiing and the designer of our trails. So all of us will have a chance to say a few words here today. I just want to say that one of our goals 2 years ago was to turn Paul Smith College into one of the top Nordic schools in the United States and to take advantage of the 2023 World University Games that are coming to Lake Placid. And so we set out on that quest, and last year we broke ground on our trails, our Nordic trails, and that we've expanded through John Morton to eventually these will be FIS standard trails, which I think we're going to be the only college campus in the U.S. that's got FIS standard trails attached to the campus. And we broke ground successfully, and we didn't get all of our trails done, but we got enough done to stage a great event this winter. And we had 100 athletes in from about 12 different colleges. They tested the trails on the 19th and 20th, very successful event. And in last October, we also announced a relationship with US Nordic skiing, and now here today we're going to announce our relationship with US Biathlon, which is very exciting for us to have 2 of the 8 winter sports be involved in a relationship with Paul Smith College. Our whole focus is on sport and education. As a longtime winter sports person myself, one of the things been lacking, I think, is these unbelievable elite athletes that go out at a young age and they miss college and they go represent their country for 3 or 4 Olympics. They march in the Olympic parade, they win Olympic medals, and all of a sudden they wake up, they're 30 years old, they don't have a career in front of them. And one of our goals here is to create an educational platform to complement the sports platform and give these elite athletes that these guys bring in here to college and give them a chance to have a post-Olympic career. So with that, I'd like to introduce Max Cobb, the Executive Director of US Biathlon.
Well, thanks, John, and thanks, everybody, for gathering here today. It's an incredibly exciting day for us to be able to announce this partnership. As everyone knows, biathlon is not a sport that's a part of the NCAA program, so we do not have college scholarships. So this will be a first-of-its-kind program here with Paul Smith's, where athletes who are students and aspiring biathletes will have a chance to get their education and continue to have world-class training through the great coaching and program that Tim Burke has put together. So incredibly exciting also for me to share this moment with my old coach, John Morton, who is the man who got me involved in biathlon back 30 years ago, and to have John be the one who designed the trails and found a way to work a range into this facility is really that's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. So Paul Smith's will be the first college to have its own biathlon facility as a part of its campus, and the fact that the trails actually abut the campus where the athletes are just creates an incredible training environment. And Tim and I and Lowell Bailey could not be more excited about this relationship and the opportunity to work with Paul Smith's to really provide our athletes with an excellent educational opportunity here. So with that, I might just introduce Tim to talk a little bit about growing up here and how great the training is here. And Tim, I'd like you to talk a little bit about the performance of our team at the World Juniors this year, which was pretty extraordinary. So thanks.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to grow up just a couple miles down the road from here, so I know very well how great the training opportunities are here in Paul Smith's. I think Paul Smith's, us locals all know that it's some of the best snow in the Adirondacks. And when I heard about this opportunity to partner with Paul Smith College, with US Biathlon, I was just incredibly excited for our athletes. Right now with US Biathlon, we have one of the strongest junior programs that we've ever had in our history at US Biathlon. That is incredibly exciting for us, but one of the problems we face is we have not had a great option in the past for our best junior athletes to attend school while they continue to pursue biathlon. This opportunity with Paul Smith College is just a perfect fit for us at the perfect time. Now we'll be able to send some of our best developing and junior athletes to Paul Smith College. I think it's great for everyone involved. I think it'll be great exposure for Paul Smith College. It's great for US Biathlon, but most importantly, it's an unbelievable opportunity for our athletes. Our athletes now will have the chance to continue to start their college education, as well as continue to chase their Olympic dreams. And I think as director of development at US Biathlon, we couldn't ask for anything else in a partnership. So thank you to Paul Smith College.
Thanks, Tim. Next up, I want to introduce our coach here at Paul Smith College, Matt Dowdery. Matt's going to say a few words as some of his students are competing in the weekend event that's going on now. And Matt, tell us what you think of the potential.
Yeah, I'm just extremely excited by this potential. I grew up in Saranac Lake and came back to Paul Smith about 4 years ago to work here. And Tim and I actually grew up racing together as younger men than we are now in high school. But when I first came back to Paul Smith, I remember coming over to the Vic and seeing the Nordic ski team and just seeing opportunity. And I think this is just a tremendous opportunity. And for me, I've been in college, higher education for 20 years, mostly in athletics. College is about opportunities for students, new opportunities. And this is a unique opportunity. But most importantly for me, it's really a grassroots, organic opportunity to grow a sport and a college campus together and really create a community around skiing, Nordic sports, and biathlon, expose new people to the sport, and really synergistically help each other. So it's real exciting.
One other point I want to make, too, is part of our agreement with U.S. Nordic and part of our agreement with U.S. Biathlon, Paul Smith College will provide 4 scholarships to each discipline. And in the near future, we're going to start announcing which athletes will be awarded the scholarships. We've been in conversation with Tim and Max, and they've got 2 unbelievable candidates. Tim's also got a pretty good vision on a summer program that we're going to, continue to discuss. But in the next couple of weeks, you start looking at some of these athletes we're bringing in here. And again, for us at Paul Smith, one of our visions was that so many of these athletes don't get an education when they're representing their country. Tim Burke got out of high school, right in 4 Olympics, wakes up when he's 30 years old. He represented his country, won some World Cup medals. Thank God he's got a great opportunity here as the Director of Athlete Development at US Biathlon. We also have 5 people on our board of athletes from this area. Chris Masder from luge, silver medalist in 2018. He never had a chance to go to college, but he got a degree 17 years later, after the fact, online. Andrew Wybrecht, the double Olympic medalist in alpine skiing from Lake Placid, Dartmouth guy. He just got his degree, finished off it last spring, 14 years after the fact. Andrea Kilborn-Hilt from Princeton, who went to school with you guys, from another Saranac Lake girl. But she got a degree because hockey allows that. Your hockey in this country, you can allow to get your degree. She got her degree at Princeton in 5 years. So all of these special local athletes will be advising us on, and the other one is Billy Demong, of course, another guy born and raised here. In fact, went to school with these 2 guys, was on the New York State cross-country championship team. What year? 95. So it's pretty cool that we've got some people come back to roost and that are in high positions here in US Biathlon and US Nordic. This is, I think, one of the sparks that's going to make this work. And so our vision of sport and education, we feel very confident that we're going in the right direction. But when we decided to go ahead with this project, Matt Dowdery, our expert, said, well, we're going to build these world-class trails. We've got to bring a world-class designer in here. And I said, well, who's that? And he said, this guy, John Morton. And so what I'd like to do is to bring up John Morton. We hired John Morton in November of 18. John started designing the trails, and John's got, from Olympic coach, Dartmouth, how many years he's, if you know anything about the sport, John Morton's got a lot of people behind him like Max Cobb that are responsible for him being in the sport. So I'd like to have John come up and say a few words about the trails and what he thought and in his vision of designing these trails in the beautiful Adirondack woods that we've got here.
Thanks, John. So to start with, it's probably a toss-up to say who's the most excited about this project. Yeah, obviously you can, you get it from John and from Max and from Tim. I'm excited in a couple of different perspectives. First of all, I was a biathlete in 1968. And in those days, we were struggling to stay off the last page of the results. That's the honest truth. And to see the progress that these guys and the people that are working with them have achieved in recent years is unbelievably gratifying to us old guys. It really is special. To stand beside somebody who's been on the podium at the World Championships and know how hard that is, know what it takes to get there, it's remarkable. And now to have a facility like this at Paul Smith's that's going to give our young athletes the opportunity to get a college education without sacrificing the quality of their training is going to change the story for the U.S. biathlon team. The other thing I'm excited about is I've designed trails all over the place. And I can't tell you how many places I've had to design trails on one side hill or one hole in the ground, try to find good terrain where there really isn't terrain. The terrain out here that you have here at Paul Smith, thanks to Tim Burke steering us in the right direction, is remarkable. These are going to be terrific world-class competition trails. And the added benefit is you've got this beautiful facility here with the Vic and all of the pre-existing trails here for additional training, for recreational skiing. It's not just the competition facility, which, to be honest about it, thanks to television, those are becoming more and more concentrated. And in the old days, I think we used to have at least 3 or 4 different loops of 4 kilometers in length. Now you do it all on one 4-kilometer loop, just because TV doesn't want to have cameras all spread out all over the hillside. So the fact that you've got the terrain for a really wonderful world-class competition venue, both for cross-country skiing and biathlon, as well as things like orienteering, ski orienteering, probably even mountain biking events in the summertime, trail running. It's going to be tremendous for competitive events. But you also have this tremendous facility that we're in now and all the associated recreational trails. It's a real gold mine, and it's as you can tell, I'm excited to be involved. Thanks.
So now what I'd like to do is have these two guys field some questions. A couple experts over here. Dale, you okay?
I'm excited. I feel your. No, I'm 69 years old. I'm an Alpine guy, but I was a Nordic combined guy too. And I went to Northwood, and we skied on old military skis that were shaved down. We had no money. I jumped at 30 down there, then over and still got my teeth knocked out. It was crazy, but I think the exciting part is to see we got coaches, we've got, the Adirondacks is near and dear to everybody. And, I was blessed to get to go to college when I was skiing. And, but a good friend of mine, Andy Mill, great example. I was running Worldwide Ski Corporation in 1981. Here comes Andy, one of the top downhillers in this country ever. And, high school education. He got lucky, he married Miss California, then he married Chris Everett. But Andy didn't have, he had a high school education. He couldn't get a job. He worked for me in Aspen. That is true. These guys ate their skis. And to be able to do this today, for me, that makes total sense. And then you also, Northwood's down the street, so the high school kids, they'll have a place to go too, maybe, if you work together. So yeah, I never thought about the mountain biking, all that crazy trail running stuff. Yeah, no, I think that's gonna be incredible, yeah. So congratulations, for all the hard work and putting it together, and now it's just a matter of getting the right kids, and, Katie barred the door, right?
Exactly.
We'll still do all the fancy competitions though, like at the Mount Homer, right?
Yeah, let me explain that.
So, yeah.
There has been questions from a lot of people saying if we have this unbelievable investment by New York State in the new facilities at Mount Van Hovenberg and the ski jumps and the new frost rails, and there's like $50 million going in, why are we creating these trails over here? Well, the secret is for our students to get in a car and have to drive 40 minutes over there in the middle of the day, that disrupts their college education, So our idea is that the kids will be getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning, have some breakfast, and go out and do, a ski that they need to do for an hour, come catch some class, go back out in the afternoon, and this won't disrupt their college schedule. We really think that we want to create almost like a test laboratory of how to meld an elite winter sports athlete needs with an educational platform, which is going to be a challenge. And the first group of athletes we're going to have in here, it's going to be a challenge, but that's the challenge we've taken on, and we believe we're going to achieve it. And we really think that the word is out on the street. There's a good buzz. There's a big YSCAA event going on in Lake Placid right now with 200 skiers, and Matt Dowder, has told me, and I've heard it already, that there's a big buzz in the Nordic, big buzz in the biathlon world and cross-country world that Paul Smith has built this unbelievable trail system out here, and there's a big emphasis on sport and education. So that's what. So we believe we're going to be a complement.
In 40 minutes, you're gonna have a lot of speeding tickets, John. I'm just saying, I've got one already. I can't make it 40 minutes.
So that's 40. So that's 45 minutes over there, and then you got to wax your skis and you got to train, and then you come. Next thing you know, you come back. That's 4 hours out of your day. And then winter sports. It's tough to accommodate these winter sports tours, and Max knows and Tim knows, and so we're gonna create a heavy emphasis on maybe a trimester here. We haven't worked all the details out, but we really believe that what we're going to accomplish here is the first of its kind, and we're pretty positive with the trail system we got in, the relationship we now have with U.S. Biathlon and U.S. Nordic, that we're pretty stoked that some of the kids we're going to be bringing in here will probably be representing the U.S. at the 2023 World University Games, if not the 2022 Games. So we're excited, and let's watch things happen.
I'll just add to that. So it's not either or, it's both.
Oh, yeah.
And as I mentioned, that because now, again, largely because of television, the courses for competition are much more condensed than they used to be. And if you imagine an event like the one coming up here that's on the schedule for the World University Games, but 2023?
20.
Okay, so you imagine the athletes are probably going to arrive 5 days to a week before competition. Competition's probably going to last 2 weeks or so. That's 3 weeks of skiing a 5K loop. That's a lot of traffic on one 5-kilometer loop. So the fact that a facility, a comparable facility, is, let's say, within an hour, that gives a whole new perspective to what this region can offer. And if I were a coach, an international coach, I'd say, great, we're going to train a couple of days on the Van Hovenborg course, and then we're going to go take a day trip out to Paul Smith's and get a change of scenery in a different.
Don't you think some of the coaches will want their teams to stay here in the dorms?
That's another whole dilemma. That's another whole angle and avenue that is being discussed. The use of the facility for the World University Games, and like it was in 1932, like it was in 1980, Paul Smith College was used for both those events. In 32, it was for all the dignitaries of the Olympics that came. They stayed at the Paul Smith College Hotel. 1980, back then, I think it was Bell Atlantic. Who was well, not Verizon. Who was the? Bell Telephone built 2 dorms. 2 dorms or 1 dorm down there? 2 dorms. 2 dorms. And all their Bell technicians stayed there. Olympics was over. Paul Smith College.
I can vouch for and say that probably was much more comfortable accommodations than Raybrook.
Than the Olympic prison. Because that's where you were staged. That's where we were staged. And again, the 2023 World University Games is our big target. That was what kicked off this initiative, and we're pretty positive it's going to happen. So we're going to close the press conference, but what we're going to do is we're going to organize everybody here into a press shot for Andy Johnson, our PR guy here. So guys, thanks everybody for coming. Griffin Kelly here from the Enterprise. If you got any words, come on up and we'll you can get these guys. But thanks everybody for coming. Let's get a shot here of right here.
Great.
Right, all 5 of us get close by and. Is that good enough, Andy? Close enough? Get a little closer here, ain't Matt coming in. Good.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank
Thanks. Great.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Exciting days, Morty.
Yeah.
Exciting days.
It's good. Just built. And then we got like 46 million.
First of its kind.
More tracks. More facilities helps. And so now Western New York,
Yeah.
Germans like there.
Yeah.
More facilities.
He did. Yeah, sure. He knew that they were.
You want one first, or?
We can just do both at the
Okay.
same time, I'm sure, just fill each other in on the gaps.
All right.
And forgive me if I didn't do my homework, I'm not the most up to speed, I'm not a sports guy, I'm just a
Okay.
news guy. All right. So, there isn't currently a range here, right, that still all needs to be designed?
Yeah, that's correct. So there's a